How far can a man fall when the world he was born to rule turns its back on him? We are witnessing the systematic erasure of a royal identity, a cold and calculated stripping of every honor earned and inherited, leaving behind a man who is now a ghost of his former self. From the cockpit of a wartime helicopter to the silent walls of a ramshackle farmhouse, this is the final, devastating chapter of a prince who lost it all. The Ministry of Defense has now confirmed that Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor's honorary Royal Navy Vice Admiral rank has been downgraded, weeks after losing his Prince and HRH styles. The former Prince Andrew has finally been stripped of his last remaining title after a request from the King. It emerged that several weeks ago, Charles requested his younger brother have his honorary title of Vice Admiral of the Royal Navy removed, and defense chiefs were urged to get on with it. Andrew served in the Royal Navy for 22 years and was a helicopter pilot in the Falklands War. He was awarded the honorary rank of Vice Admiral in February 2015 to mark his 55th birthday, in a move approved by his late mother, the Queen. He had been due to have this upgraded to Admiral in 2020 to mark his 60th birthday. This move was scrapped in the wake of his car crash interview on BBC Newsnight, where he talked about his association with pedophile financier Jeffrey Epstein. At the end of October, the King officially stripped his disgraced brother of his HRH style and his prince title, and removed his dukedom from the roll of the peerage over Andrew's serious lapses of judgment. In the days after the bombshell move, the Defense Secretary John Healey said the government would remove Andrew's Vice Admiral title. Speaking on the BBC at the time, he said, "This is a move that's right. It's a move the King has indicated we should take, and we're working on that at the moment." Now the Ministry of Defense has confirmed that his rank has now been downgraded to that of Commander. In a statement, it said, following formal consideration, Defense Council have agreed the immediate reversion from the rank of Vice Admiral to the rank of Commander, Retired, Royal Navy, the rank held on retirement from regular Royal Naval service by Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor. This decision aligns with such processes as to remove other styles and titles. It comes as it has emerged that the former Duke of York could set to move to a ramshackle farmhouse on the Sandringham estate when he eventually leaves Royal Lodge. After being stripped of all of his titles in October, the former Duke of York was also forced to give up the lease of his 30-room Windsor mansion. It was confirmed he would eventually move and go and live on a property on the King's private Sandringham estate. Now, an old farmhouse on the estate has reportedly had renovations started on it to prepare it for Andrew to move in. The property, called Marsh Farm, is around 7 miles from the main Sandringham house, and it's said a no-fly zone over Sandringham has been extended to include the property. An insider told The Sun, Andrew has been told he is off to Marsh Farm. It needs an awful lot of work to be done before it's habitable. It means we could be waiting a long time before he ever leaves Royal Lodge. The symbolic death of a naval hero. To understand the weight of this demotion, one must look back to the mist-shrouded waters of 1982. There was a time when Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor was the nation's favorite son, a dashing Sea King pilot who risked his life in the Falklands War, acting as a decoy for Exocet missiles to protect his fellow sailors. That service was his bedrock, the one area of his life where his merits seemed to transcend his birthright. By reverting his rank back to that of a retired commander, the rank he earned through years of sweat and service, the Crown is effectively cutting away every honor granted by grace and leaving him only with what he earned before the shadows of his associations darkened his door. It is a psychological gut punch that tells the world his royal status no longer confers any dignity upon his military record. The architecture of a modern exile. The physical displacement of the former duke is a narrative of total exclusion. Royal Lodge, with its 30 rooms and storied history, was a fortress of his own making, a place where he could still feel like the master of a domain. Moving him to Marsh Farm, a property described as ramshackle, is a deliberate choice that mirrors his social standing. In the high-stakes theater of royal life, your address is your identity. 7 miles may not seem like a vast distance in the real world, but in the geography of the Sandringham estate, it is an ocean. He is being placed out of sight and out of mind, tucked away in a corner of the country where the only neighbors are the winds of the North Sea and the silence of his own thoughts. A monarchy that does not flinch. King Charles III is sending a message that is echoing through the halls of every palace in Europe. The institution is greater than the individual. This is a surgical operation designed to save the patient, the monarchy, by removing a limb that has become synonymous with scandal. The serious lapses of judgment mentioned aren't just mistakes, they are wounds on the collective consciousness of a nation. By stripping the HRH, the prince title, and now the vice admiral rank in such rapid succession, the king is demonstrating a ruthlessness that many didn't expect. It is a cold, modern necessity. The crown cannot survive if it is seen to harbor those who compromise its moral standing, regardless of blood ties or the wishes of a late, beloved queen. The loneliness of the no-fly zone. Perhaps the most chilling detail of this transition is the extension of the no-fly zone. While ostensibly for security, it creates a literal bubble of isolation. Andrew will live in a space where even the sky is restricted, a man trapped in a gilded cage that has lost its luster. This isn't just about privacy from the press, it's about the total containment of a legacy that has become radioactive. As he waits for the renovations at Marsh Farm to finish, he is living in a state of suspended animation, a man without a role, without a title, and soon, without a home that reflects the life he once knew. It is the ultimate price for a life lived in the corridors of power without the wisdom to protect the privilege that built them.